Meet the woman who's trying to make her dream of having 100 kids come true. While parents go crazy raising even one kid, Russian mom Christina OS Turk, who already has 11 of her biological children, hopes to have dozens more. Using surrogate mothers, Christina is a young woman with a huge heart, one big enough to spread between a husband and 11 kids. But she's not done yet. Keep watching to meet the woman who's trying to make her dream of having 100 kids come true. Meet Mom Christina. She was born and raised in Moscow, Russia with a regular upbringing. She never could have expected the crazy turns her life would take. But at just 17 years old, Christina suddenly fell pregnant. While the thought of being a young mother was daunting, she quickly fell in love with parenthood. With the father out of the picture, Christina knew that she was all her baby Vika had since she was only a teenager. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. At the time, she figured that having one child was the most she could handle, but that would soon change. Being a single parent was incredibly challenging for Christina, and by the time she turned 23 years old, the young mother had worn herself out completely. She dreamed of finding a partner to share the load with, but the thought of someone loving her and Vika felt like a distant fairy tale. Christina decided all her hard work deserved to be rewarded, so after a lot of convincing, she took herself on vacation a few countries over to Georgia. Little did she know the trip she had just embarked on would change her life in ways she never saw coming. Meet Dad Gallip. Gallip Oscar was originally from Turkey. He'd already become a millionaire thanks to owning several Metro Group properties and establishing the Turkey Bus Federation. In 2005, Ostrich created and became the president of the new company, launching his career forward. Gallip was a well-off man who understood the business and was dashing and handsome. All sounds magical and wonderful, but a secret he'd been keeping hidden would soon come to light, and it just so happened that it would occur as he met the beautiful Christina. The trouble with the law, as it turned out, there was a dark reason why Gallip was living in Georgia. It all started back in 2009 when he was arrested for manipulating the Istanbul Stock Exchange. 3 years later, Ostrich found himself in hot water. He was sentenced to life imprisonment for something else, a violent act against an employee in 1996. But on the day of his sentencing in 2013, he fled to Georgia, where he remains thence. It just so happened that shortly after he settled into the new country, his fate took a turn. He never saw it coming, but Christina stumbled into his life at just the right moment and their love story began. Gallip met Christina while she was vacationing in Batumi, Georgia, often referred to as the Las Vegas of the Black Sea. As they recalled the encounter, it was love at first sight. She's so easy to be with. She always has a smile on her lips, and yet at the same time she's shy and mysterious. Oscar gushed after a few dates, and the couple quickly fell into a serious relationship. So much so that Christina and Vika decided to move to Batumi permanently to begin a life with Gallip. At the same time, the young mother didn't know that they were bound to Georgia thanks to Gallip's secret past, a match made in Georgia. Despite what Gallip kept behind closed doors, the two grew to be very close. Not only was Ostrich a very sweet and caring man, but he was actually a great father as well, so he understood the love for Vika that Christina held close. As things continued to progress, the pair decided to marry and began a blended family together. In an interview with the Daily Mail, Christina described her new husband as her mentor, guide, and her fairy tale prince. All rolled into one, they realized they had more in common than they could even imagine. Both of them wanted large families and to have as many kids as they could care for. Christina and Gallip soon had their first son together via surrogate. Although they already had Vika, the couple instantly called baby fever. Initially, the newlyweds discussed having a large family, but when the conversation grew to include one baby every year, they realized Christina's body might not be able to handle it. Unsure of what to do given their inability to conceive, they called upon a surrogate agency. It was then decided the OS Turks would grow their family with the help of the birthing community in Georgia. But first they had to set important parameters. Christina and her new husband were massively in love, and they wanted to be able to share that love with as many babies as possible as fast as possible. Thus, their goal of having a huge family and household was set into motion. But neither one of them wanted to wait years to see their vision become a reality, so the couple began researching desperately. They learned everything they could about the possibilities of having several children via surrogates at the same time. On Instagram, Christina said they'd like to have 105 kids. She later said she was joking, but that 100 children felt slightly more fitting. Their age difference had no effect, Christina explained. Even though Gallip was 56 years old, 33 her senior, he had no objections to having a large family. On top of that, as mentioned before, OS Turk was already a father. He had 8 kids in total, ranging in age between 12 and 34 between he and Christina met. Immediately, they began their mission of building a family comprised of as many children as possible. To do this, they had to call on as many surrogate mothers that were willing to help. But this decision came with a price tag of about $9,700 per baby to be exact. Next came all the exciting planning and preparations for their growing family. Georgia has allowed surrogacy since 1997, with many rules and regulations set in place, one of the most important being when a child is born, it's automatically given to the people whose genetics make up the conception. This means a surrogate doesn't have any rights over the children she carries to ensure that their future kids were in healthy condition. Each of Christina's potential surrogates went through counseling like any other binding agreement. They also had to sign legal documents before becoming pregnant with the Aztecs' children set up the surrogacy. The ostrich was very particular when it came to finding the right women for these jobs. Only those who had given birth before were chosen, surveyed to seek out bad habits, and interviewed by a psychologist. The clinic in Batumi chose surrogate mothers for us and takes full responsibility for the process, said Christina. The surrogates were even asked their feelings about giving the baby to its genetic parents post-birth to ensure a no-hiccup situation. We weren't personally acquainted with the surrogate mothers and didn't have direct contact with them to avoid problems after pregnancy, Christina explained on the Russian website Woman.ru. The eldest child in the family is 6 years old, Victoria or Vika. In short, I only gave birth to Vika. The others are genetically ours, but they were born from surrogate wombs, the young mom said. Currently, the couple has 11 children in total, with 10 of the birds via surrogates in the last year. The second eldest is Mustafa Gallip and Christina's first child together. He was born via surrogacy on March 10, 2020, followed by Miriam on April 17th. Next, twins Elisa and Aaron were born on April 19th, with more siblings arriving in the following months. The second set of twins, Hassan and Judy, were born on May 29, 2020. Next came Anna Ismail, and on August 21st, Mehmet Lokman followed on November 10th, and their 10th child Olivia was the first to enter the new year on January 10th. She was born healthy and happy, but with 11 children, the ostriches weren't finished. I don't know how many children there will eventually be, but we certainly don't plan to stop at 10, Christina told Woman.ru. The couple has spoken about having 100 babies. However, they currently decided to wait until their current 10 is a bit older before commencing in another surrogacy pregnancy, as surrogacy wasn't always Christina's birth plan. After countless hours of research, the young mom initially ruled out IVF. Unfortunately, it held a high risk of causing strain on her body and the inability to carry a child while receiving treatment, but she hasn't ruled out biological birth. Christina did, however, label IVF as not practical due to the number of kids they have running around the house. Her husband has described the mom of 11 as the wife I always wanted for myself, an uncut diamond where I saw what a pure and kind heart she had. So how does this gem manage a household of 13 living with 11 babies? Many people who don't know the family assume Christina has a laundry list of nannies to help with childcare, but the young mom claims most of the day-to-day childcare herself. She also makes sure to devote time and attention to care for each child as well as their home and herself. Christina has insisted that each of the babies adhere to a strict sleeping schedule. Astonishingly, the hardworking mom has said that she trained her kids to sleep from 8 p.m. from 6 p.m. every night. According to Christina, her eldest Vika loves caring for the babies and is now old enough to help her mom with certain tasks. Christina's daily tasks on her Instagram, where she shares many tips, tricks, and story time. With her experience as a mom of 11, Christina said, "I spend the maximum amount of my time with my children, but when I'm not with them, I control everything." If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.